Chris, you've been part of some sort of big comebacks in your time and some frenetic lineups like that. When did you start to get the old feeling about tonight?
It's not like we were playing hard at the first half, so I felt like, we always had a chance if we turn it up a little bit. Obviously the Dallas one was amazing, and every time you come back in the game down 20, it's amazing. We did it with the Spurs before and now that, so I'm definitely happy of the win, but, we don't want every game to be like that.
Was that sort of the message afterward? Like, that first half was,
for sure.
As you said, was not to your standard.
We definitely told ourselves at half, we did it before. We could still do it again. We definitely knew that we didn't play our best basketball, so it was just about, making the whole team click together, and obviously we got the players for that.
Where do you think this team is 10 games into the season?
We're still learning, like I said. Everybody's learned from every part of the game. Obviously, we had the coaches, the players. But like I said, I think we're doing a good job. We're working hard. We're trying to help each other out. And like games like this, you see the work that we got to do, but also the potential that we have.
Chris, how impressive was that performance from Pascal, particularly the third quarter?
He never looked down, you know what I'm saying? He always seemed like we could win the game, and he gave me remember when we against Dallas, we had Kyle Lowry did a kind of similar thing where he was just, we're not going to lose this game, and I felt like I saw that from Pascal, and he drove us all the way there, and obviously it shows how competitive he is, but also how much he cares about this team.
How was the chain tonight? We heard you got it over Pascal.
Yeah, I had my John Cena moment, you know what I'm saying?
Oui, Pascal, quelle était la différence entre la première partie et la deuxième partie où vous avez pu revenir au score? Qu'est-ce qui a été le déclic, le changement de...
La défense, je pense qu'on a vraiment mis la pression en défense. On a commencé à pick up full court, ça a aidé. Je pense que aussi juste rendre les shots un peu plus difficiles en contestant, ça a aidé aussi.
Et personnellement, comment tu peux jouer ta performance ce soir? On a entendu que le coach tu as eu la chaîne aujourd'hui. Comment est-ce que tu peux juger ta performance aujourd'hui?
C'était bien, comme j'ai dit, je peux encore faire beaucoup mieux, peut-être de venir faire ça plus tôt, mais je pense que, comme j'ai dit, mon rôle c'est toujours le même. Et je toujours trouver des façons de venir et mettre de l'énergie. Aujourd'hui, c'était mon moment, puis je l'ai saisi.
Chris, tu l'as dit en anglais. Vous avez déjà vécu ça, donc ça vous a servi pour ce match-là, mais c'est quand même pas quelque chose à reproduire à chaque fois. Comment éviter justement de reproduire ça à chaque fois?
Répétition. Je pense qu'on est chanceux en ce moment parce qu'on gagne ces games-là, mais je pense que on veut pas commencer à penser que ça va arriver à chaque fois. Puis faut juste se dire que si on joue comme ça 3 quarts, 4 quarts, on peut gagner par 20 à la place d'être down par 20.
Et étonnamment, à la fin, ils n'ont pas remis Gafford. À quel point ça vous a aidé? Est-ce que tu as senti qu'il n'y avait pas cette présence au milieu et que c'était plus facile d'accéder au cercle?
Je pense que parce qu'on jouait plus petit, c'est difficile de mettre un big. D'habitude, ils matchent les minutes avec Yak. Je pense qu'en ce moment, c'était un peu plus difficile. Le pace de la game était plus vite. Alors, comme je dis, je pense que c'est ça qu'ils se sont dit.
So they say no lead is safe in the NBA anymore because of the three-pointer you guys found to do without many threes.
Right.
What changed in the second half other than the obvious, or maybe just the obvious?
Yeah, no, I think just the obvious. Obviously, like we didn't have enough energy. It's just it wasn't enough. I think they came out, they played freely, transition, turnovers, which I had 6 turnovers. Just being like. Not even that, because I don't think we had too many of those, but just not enough energy and not matching what they had coming into the game, and we all know in the league we can't do that, especially with our team. We have to have that energy from the beginning, and we had good moments throughout the season, but we can't just come into games just expecting to win without doing the little things.
Both in the Dallas game and this game, you just feasted in the paint. How much of that comes down to running and getting position early when you get a stop or a steal? Like how much of that is just?
I think for me it's just like, like I continue to play whenever you get that I get the ball, like again just using my abilities and again trying to do it in the flow of whatever's happening with the offense and just trying to figure out for me like just finding my spots and finding ways to continue to be aggressive and yeah, like I just think that like the more I do things, the better I get at it.
Chris was saying that your performance sort of reminded him of Kyle from that Dallas comeback back in 2019, just that, especially in that third quarter, you weren't going to let the team lose. Is that sort of what it felt like for you in the second half?
I think for me, it was just like, I think just looking at everyone's body language, I just thought like, obviously, like you get down, you have the, like you want to come back and it's like every possession is like so like it feels like it weighs a lot, like any mistakes and it's like like the crowd don't help you either. It's like like and everything feels like like you getting like stabbed every second every time something happens. And I think for me like one thing I was trying to tell everyone is just like we can't get it all back at once. Like we have to take it one possession at a time and sometimes we have like a little 6-point run or whatever, and then they come back, they make a couple of threes, and it's like, like it feels like, it kind of sucks the life out of you kind of thing. And then it's just like when you're trying to come back and you just got to, be patient with it, continue to work the game. And I think when you have like good attitude and the basketball gods kind of like rewards you, like, and we have to have that attitude like every time people make mistakes, instead of just kind of like getting on them about the mistake, it's like encouraging them and I think for me that's what I was trying to do, just encourage everyone and bring just a little bit of energy.
Speaking of the basketball gods, when you took that last shot, how did it feel at your hand? What were you thinking when it hit rim?
I mean, yeah, like I work on that shot every day. Like I take that every day, and it's funny today. One of the coaches, Drew, like we was working out before the game, and even before the game, all the time we work out, and he always tell me like he would live with that shot, and I told him it's a bad way to live. So, because I just feel like that shot is always like it's there for me, and I work on it every single day, and obviously, luckily it went in, but. To me, it's just about like I'm not doing something that's out of like what I do. Like that shot is always there for me, and I take it 100 times out of 100.
You scored 39. Were you okay with Chris getting the belt?
Oh yeah, Chris was unbelievable, man. Or the chain, the belt, whatever you want to call it. Like Chris, I think Chris' energy, like whatever he brought to the game, man, he was blocking shots, like finishing in transition. Just playing like solid basketball, and I think that like what he was like plus like what. Yeah, so like just his energy, I thought he deserved it for sure, and I think for me like it's been really tough on Chris, like there's some games he's playing, some games he doesn't know if he's gonna play, and I think one thing that I said that last time is like his growth, just like understanding that. Sometimes it's gonna be a little hard, and him not just like put his head down and kind of like getting away from the team. Like he's been so professional. I love his attitude, like and I think that coaches see that and everyone sees it, and it's only gonna pay off for him.
What's it say about this team that you're able to have this big comeback without OG or Gary in the lineup?
I think we're resilient. I think we have guys, like we always say, that have a chip on their shoulder, and I think for us it's just like not being complacent. Like we can't come into game just expecting that thing is going to happen for us, and thinking that it's going to be easy, or thinking that everything's going to go our way. Like that's not how life works. So I think once we've showed in spurts like that. Like we can do that, and I think that the challenge is just for us to continue to do that like over longer periods of time.
Oui, Pascal, c'est ta meilleure performance de la saison statistiquement. Qu'est-ce qui a contribué à ce qu'on a vu ce soir, que ce soit toi personnellement et l'équipe en général?
Ouais, je pense que pour nous, on a commencé le match un peu pas avec trop d'énergie, et ouais, mon challenge aujourd'hui, c'était juste de continuer à apporter l'énergie à l'équipe, continuer à faire ce que je peux. Ouais, aujourd'hui, c'est venu avec des points, mais à la fin, c'est pas le plus important. Le plus important, c'est d'être toujours là, néanmoins, tout ce qui se passe, avoir cette même énergie, ce même focus, de continuer, de se battre jusqu'à la fin. Et vraiment, je suis content de tout le monde, le Malachi, Boucher, tous ces gens, ils sont venus, et even Grady, ils ont contribué à l'équipe et ça c'est important. Et on doit essayer de le faire tous les jours et pas venir à des matchs et avoir juste l'air nonchalant un peu. Ça n'a pas marché avec nous. Donc je pense qu'on a montré qu'on peut le faire. Donc il faut qu'on le fasse tous les jours.
Et que dire de la performance de Chris ce soir?
Ouais, il était, comme je l'ai dit en anglais, il était exceptionnel. Son énergie, son activité, bloquer les shots. Il a juste apporté une énergie à l'équipe qu'on avait besoin. Et ouais, j'aime bien quand il fait ça. Et moi, je l'encourage toujours de le faire tous les jours. Et cette année, dès qu'il a eu l'opportunité, il a toujours fait. Donc c'est important.
Pascal, est-ce que le fait d'avoir connu un pareil scénario contre San Antonio, ça vous a aidé ce soir à vous dire que vous pouviez le faire?
Ouais, bien sûr. À la mi-temps, les vétérans comme Tad, Garrett, ils sont là, ils sont toujours sur nous, continuent à nous parler. Et à la fin, on sait qu'on peut le faire. Et tout le monde le savait à la mi-temps qu'on n'a pas joué comme on pouvait jouer ou qu'on n'a pas joué avec l'énergie qu'on a toujours. Donc à la fin, c'était juste de se regarder dans les yeux et essayer de le faire. Et bon, parfois, tu as la chance, comme aujourd'hui, ça a bien marché, mais je pense que ce qu'on apprend aujourd'hui, c'est que ouais, on peut pas avoir cette nonchalance là quand on arrive dans des matchs. Et ouais, c'est ça le challenge, c'est la prochaine fois de le faire au début.
Et juste une dernière question. Tactiquement, ils ont enlevé Gafford à la fin. Est-ce que vous avez senti que c'était un petit peu plus ouvert pour aller au cercle?
Ouais. Pour nous, c'est quand on voit les match-ups, c'est essayer de toujours les utiliser. Et ouais, ça fait du bien.
Second game back after missing a fair bit of games. How are you feeling first and foremost?
Good. Just happy to be out there competing with my teammates. I'm happy to get the win today. Just looking forward to the next game. Obviously, we're going to watch him, learn from this, and just move forward from it.
You were a big reason in the momentum switch, especially kind of closing it out in the fourth quarter. What did you see out there?
I didn't close the game in the fourth, but just being out there with energy, you know what I mean? Just being able to capitalize on them being out of rhythm, out of sync, and kind of increase our intensity on defense. I think that's what brought us back into the game, and we just capitalized on that and just kept doing what we do.
How impressed were you with Pascal Siakam? Just switching the momentum in the third.
I mean, big time. That's what big time players do: come in, take over the game, perform at a high level. So that's something that he's done before. I don't think any of us are surprised that he did that tonight.
And then when it just comes to playing with energy, how can you carry this going into the rest of the week? Because you guys got some big games ahead.
We just got to understand that we got to come out and start every game the way we started off the second half of the game. Just come out there and play the right way, play with intensity. And I think if we do that, we'll give ourselves a chance every night.
Walk me through this one, because you guys were down by 19, as much as 23 in the third. What were you seeing out there?
We just came out kind of flat. I think everybody could see that. We didn't have too much energy, but we've turned it around. Not too late because we won, but definitely can't do that moving forward.
I know it's probably a bit of deja vu from San Antonio a little bit. What do you guys find in yourselves to be able to do that, though?
I think we're a resilient team. We've been there before, like we did in San Antonio, so we knew we were capable of it. And when we came out with energy, it just kind of turned the things around. The crowd got into it, and it just went from there.
You look like you're playing in rhythm. What are you seeing in your own performance and how you're able to contribute to the team?
I think, for one, bringing energy, continuing to be someone who makes good decisions with and without the ball, and just continue to get more comfortable out there. I think it's been really good the past couple games as far as the comfort level, and I think that'll continue to grow.
And then finally, just how impressed were you with your teammates, Chris, Precious, and just having that energy off the bench?
It was huge. They brought it. We need that every night from everybody. And then obviously Pascal, he's done that before. We've seen that out of him before. But tonight we really needed it, so that was huge.
Malachi, what do you like about the Dennis and Malachi yourself as a backcourt? What advantages are presented there?
I think two guards who have a good IQ, can play make, can score at the same time when it's needed. And someone who can push the pace. I think we both can push up the pace and bring some energy to the team on the defensive end. So kind of similar in those ways.
When you're pressuring ball handlers as soon as they get across half court or even, as soon as they inbound the ball, how are you navigating angles and making sure that you're not obviously getting beaten, but also you're containing the ball handler the best you can?
I think a little bit is knowing tendencies of other players, knowing their strengths, knowing your strengths as a defender, and then also we got pretty good help defense, so you can always rely on them at the end of the day.
Does it go into film to understand who you're encountering and who you're dealing with as a ball handler?
Yeah, I think just watching basketball. I mean, I watch a lot of games, and I think you kind of just see people's tendencies the more you watch them. So that just comes with being a fan of the game.
Darko, I guess if you're not going to make threes, getting 76 points in the paint is pretty impressive. How were we able to pound the ball in there so effectively all night?
We did it better in the second half than first half. I thought that our defense in the second half really gave us a chance. We came up with deflections and steals and blocked shots at the rim. They just opened up the floor as an opportunity to drive. And then we were trying intentionally to go at certain matchups there on the court and just try to score closer to the basket, Just like you said, the three ball was not going in. We had to adjust and then try something different.
Pascal has the ability to really take advantage of those matchups that you got. He punished people down there. How is his game evolving in that respect? He sees matchups that he can exploit and does it?
For sure, and it's also the team that needs to recognize those situations, how to get into certain matchups. They were switching 1 through 4 for the majority of the game, so that allowed us actually to pound the ball inside. After that, when they started to hedge and show more, those were opportunities for us that we took advantage of. Scotty slipping out, rolling to the rim, Precious to rolling to the rim. So I thought that second half we did much better job on both ends of the floor.
You talked about before the game about protecting the paint, and obviously in the first quarter especially, that didn't seem to be there. What was your assessment of what was going on, and how did you fix that?
We fixed it at halftime when I talked to players, and I told them, I don't expect you to go out there and win the game, but I expect you to go out there and play with joy and play with fun and compete on a much higher level. And we did not do a good enough job in those aspects in the first time. They were getting way too easy to the paint. They were getting wide open looks. I just didn't thought that was our identity and that's the way how we need to play. And guys responded, and they did really great job in the second half. We ended up winning the game tonight, but to be honest with you, Eric, I prefer not to dig up a hole of 19 points at the halftime and then have to work double more and double harder in the second half.
Did it feel like some of the frustration offensively was impacting the defense in the first half?
Oh, but for sure. We always after a game, we're going to look in those kind of in different aspects, but definitely we did not make shots. They were, sagging off of us. They were inviting us to shoot mid-range shots, and that's a bait. When you see those shots being available there and taking those, and it's not about the making or missing. It's we're still missing opportunities to attack the rim and finish at the rim with higher percentages shots and getting more to the free throw line. So I thought that in the second half we did a much better job in that aspect, and just like you said, our defense sparked us in the second half, and then everything is easier. It's easier to shoot the ball. It's easier to drive it. All of that is connected.
Well, he had a few rookie moments here and there. How important was Grady tonight, even just as a floor spacer with Gary and Achiuwa?
He's such a live body out there. The way he moves without the ball, the way he's in a place, it's really good. At the same time, game is happening in some moments a little bit too fast for him. He had a turnover in the second half after just using one dribble. And that's something that we're really focusing on, trying to, when he's driving the ball, to use second and third dribble to touch the paint, to be able to score, but also to kick the ball out. And as the game was progressing, he was able to put it together. There's no other way to learn it than to go through it, and we gotta live with some of his mistakes. He's our future, so we gotta really invest in him, and we gotta have patience with him.
Darko, what's it say about the character of this team that you're able to overcome that deficit without OG or without Gary?
It says a lot about character, but also like we can talk about character in the first half as well, right? That's always fair to say, but it's not easy to come back from double digits at the halftime and find a way and energy to win the game. And we just gotta learn what it takes to get going from the jump ball from the start of the game.
How important was Chris to the defensive turnaround from this team late in the game?
He was outstanding. Like we talked about, like when he was getting just a crack in rotation or not playing. Like that guy, he's putting a lot of work in. He's playing in our play groups. He's staying ready, and all of that keeps his mind and body in the right place when his numbers are cold, like it was tonight. He was ready to go out there. It's a long season. Like all the guys, they're gonna be in rotation, out of rotation, starting, not starting. Like they gotta stay ready, and that's why tonight the chain went to Chris Boucher.
Not Pascal? What's Pascal got to do?
You know, there is something that Pascal got a high praise for me, and everybody knew what he did tonight. But it's not just like who scores the more points. It's the effect on the team. And you asked me the question about Chris Boucher. Now you want to take a chain from him, you know. So chain goes tonight to Chris Boucher.